Where do you find your calling? It's probably not what you think. Stay tuned. Potential. Use NLP to discover those hidden treasures inside of you. If you haven't already, please click subscribe to this YouTube channel so you can get these videos on a regular basis. Your potential is not doing you any good if you're sitting around theorizing about it, conceptualizing it, trying to plan it all out before you launch into whatever it is you want to do. If you're like me, I spent years trying to map all this out in my head. So what do I want, and how am I going to go about getting it, and how am I going to make zero mistakes in the process? Chances are it's probably not going to work that way. I know a few people who are kind of like that. They know what they want and they just go and get it. I've never been like that. I've had to try so many different things, thinking each one of these things was it. This was what I was going to do for my entire life, only to find out that it led to something else. And then I thought that something else was what it was. And then no, it led to something else. And I look back on this in a very cynical way, I could look at this and say that I had so many failures. But the truth was, none of this was failure. This was me discovering through trial and error what I wanted to do and what fit well with me. Like I said, there are some people that just seem to know it and they go and they do it. Those are very rare people. The worst thing you can do is hold yourself to that standard. It's unusual, and for most of us, we're going to have to try out a lot of different things until we figure out what works for us. We're going to have to make a lot of mistakes. We're going to have to fail over and over. The thing to remember is resourcefulness. Tony Robbins once said that the greatest resource is resourcefulness. And sometimes I really hate to admit when he's right, and he is absolutely right about that. Using NLP techniques and tools and developing skills will give you resources. And unfortunately, this is where most people stop. What you want to do is you want to keep going. You want to take it a step further so that you yourself become the resource. You become the person who can flex and adapt to any situation. You become the person who is always discovering your potential by expressing it. And when you express that potential, you look at the responses and the feedback that come back your way. You receive that and you keep updating and you keep discovering and you keep taking action. The main thing here is action. You don't know what your calling is if you're just theorizing about it. And so at the beginning of this video, I said, where is your calling? Where are you going to find it? It is not going to be found in your head. I tried this. It does not work. I don't know anyone who can just discover this and plan out their awesomeness and how they're going to get there all in their head, and then they take an action and start moving down that path and it all works out like they had planned out in their head. I know no one who that has worked for. Your potential, your calling is going to be found in the actions you take and the responses and feedback that you receive as a result of those actions. That's where you're going to find your calling. And your calling is going to be wordless and nameless. You are going to discover it along the way. And this happens when you tap that potential. And potential is kind of mysterious. We don't really know what it is. And that's why potential goes wasted in most of us, because we don't really know what it is. It's not really a target. It's not like I can say I want to make X amount of dollars this year. Potential is mysterious in the way that we really don't know all that we're capable of. And when we start actualizing potential, which takes action, you can't just, like I said, do it in your head. When you start taking those actions, your potential grows. The more you become, the more capable you become, the more resourceful you become, the more your potential expands and grows. So we really don't know what our potential is, and that for some people cripples them, and they don't take action on it because they say, well, I don't know what to do, I don't know where to go. Do anything. There is no reason for anyone to be bored. You have so much to do. so much inside of you. All of us, if you're watching this video, I don't care who you are, you have hidden treasures inside of you, and you probably have no idea what they are. You may have speculated about what they are, but you truly have no idea what you have inside of you, what you have to offer the world, what you have to offer your own life. I know we seem like we could lose so much, but the truth is we really don't have that much if we're not doing anything. If we just have a regular job and we're not even that happy with the job and we're just going through life paying bills, you don't have that much to lose. So go for it. Why not? When I meditate in the morning, one of the things that I always do is I give appreciation and gratitude to the source that created me. And when I do that, it's not just about conjuring gratitude, and that's a very important practice, but it's not just about that. What it makes me think of is whether, it doesn't matter what religion you believe in, if you believe in a God or don't believe in a God, you were created. There was a source that created you, and that was a process, and there was some sort of potential in that, and then you were actualized. And so when I think about that, I think about, I'm here on this planet, I'm going through life, and I get to explore this thing, I get to discover this thing, I get to do all these things that is an extension of that potential that created me. And now that I'm here in physical form, and there's so much potential inside of me that has not yet been realized, not materialized, is not in physical form yet, now I get that chance to explore what is possible and what can I create in actualizing that potential. I also recommend practices like meditation. I do a lot of yoga, I do a lot of NLP, and I do a lot of writing. This will also help you bring that potential into, or express that potential is the best way that I can say it. And you don't have to have those practices. You can find whatever practices work for you. Expressing that potential makes it more real and makes it materialize. And then you start to see other opportunities around you to express potential. You first got to get into the habit, though, and the practice of expressing potential, and then it starts to spread. Then it gets quite contagious. And this is what you want. And you will come upon those times where there's an opportunity, a risk, something like that, and you've got to make a decision. Most of the time, I say go for it. Of course, you got to look at the risks, you got to weigh the risks, it's got to fit for you, it's got to work for you. That is your purpose, is to explore this thing, to get out there, to see what is possible, and to discover yourself along the way. If you're not doing that, then what are you doing? So to sum all this up, get out there, take action. If you're ever bored, know that that is about you. If you're waiting for something to happen, you're dying. If you're waiting for someone to give something to you, if you're waiting for someone to give you the confidence to do what you want to do, you will wait forever, and if it ever does come, it'll probably be too late. So get out there and do something, take action, see what you get back, and keep updating and keep taking action. You will find it, and you will unlock those hidden treasures. And like I said, NLP is a great method, great model, great tool, great way to cultivate resourcefulness in yourself so that you can create exactly the life that you want to live. And NLP has done that for me. And I feel like it's part of my calling to teach this, to teach NLP, to help other people actualize their potential. Check out our website, nlp-gym.com. Follow us on Facebook so you can get real-time updates on free practice sessions and workshops that we have coming up. And as I mentioned, please subscribe to this YouTube channel. And we have Core Transformation coming up in less than a month. If you really want to jumpstart this process of actualizing your potential, Core Transformation is a great place to start. That's September 16th, 17th, and 18th, and that will be taught by Mark Andreas, son of NLP legends and developers Steve and Connie Ray Andreas. just like fruit on the vine dying. It's a shitty fucking way to start this.